DoorDash, GrubHub, UberEats. What do companies like this all have in common? Asking me, the Libertarian, the man who sees behind the business model, I'll tell you, these three companies have this in common. They are exploiting, or if it makes you feel better, taking advantage of people who are not that great at doing the following three things: managing their time, managing their money, and managing their nutrition. So for me personally, I would never use one of those services. I would never think, man, I'm craving a burger. I'm craving Captain D's. It's funny, where I live, there's a Captain D's, which is just very fried fish. It's not healthy in any way. So greasy fried fish. And on their marquee it says, get our food through DoorDash, or whatever it is. So they're promoting that. They're like, well, hey, if you don't have the energy to drive down to our store to eat our greasy food, at least pay more money for someone else to come get it and bring it to you. Like, that's ultimately how it works, but for any restaurant. So let's get back to this business model thing, okay? And what I want to be very clear, I'm doing the same thing through my YouTube channel. We'll get to that in a moment. So let's just imagine I proclaimed that these companies are exploiting people who are poor managers of their time, of their money, and of their nutrition. So for me personally, I am obsessed with being in control of my own life. So for me, I'm already thinking ahead as I'm planning things out. I've got a schedule. I'm planning events ahead in my head all the time. So I would never be in a situation where, like, man, I need some food. Let me call this guy. I need him to deliver a meal from a restaurant. I would never do that. I'm already planning ahead. I've always got food stowed away wherever it is. I've got a plan. I've planned out my meals and even my snacks ahead of time. I've always got access to something. Okay? So for me, that's one reason those companies are not attractive to me personally in that way. They're attractive in a different way, and I'll get to that in a minute, back to YouTube here in a minute. So I would not put myself in a situation where I didn't have a plan to access food already. So for me, I'm obsessed with managing my time. I would say people who use those services are not that great at managing their time. Number two, managing their money. I'm obsessed with managing my money. Now, I'm not one of those people who are like, look at all the money I have, I am great. No, I do have a good situation financially, but largely is because I manage that money. I invest that money. Like YouTube, I'm making money in my sleep from these videos, again, by using the same model that these companies use. We'll get to that in a minute. So for me, I'm not only managing my time, but managing my money. I'm not gonna pay somebody extra money to bring me food. And granted, when I go to a restaurant, yes, I tip, because I used to be a server. I know they make like $2 an hour. That's part of it. When I get a haircut, I tip well as well. I know that they make just a couple of dollars an hour, and most of their money comes from tips. If most of your money comes from tips, you're gonna get a good tip from me. If you're at least getting paid minimum wage, you might not get a tip from me. It's the business model that society subscribes to. I'll subscribe to it in that purpose. So going back though to paying people more money to bring me food I shouldn't be eating. So I personally know two people who deliver for a company like this. I personally know them, and I've talked to them about it. And they're like, man, I'm making some good money doing this, especially during this COVID thing. Like, this is a really good thing. So, but again, you look at the other side of the business model. The people working for the service and who run the service are doing great. They're doing well. That's a good situation. They're taking advantage of the people who are not good at those three things. So I asked one of my friends who works for one of these companies on the side, I said, tell me the dumbest order you've ever delivered. He's like, well, there was one time for Burger King. There was like, I delivered like 53 burgers to this house full of guys. But he's like, they were young, they were teenagers, they were in college. I said, well, what about another one? I said, what about Sonic? Have you ever delivered for Sonic? He said, yeah, actually there was this lady who ordered a milkshake. So I go down there, I get the milkshake, I find her house, I drive to her house, wherever she is, and I get her the milkshake. And he said, what's funny is by the time she paid the service fee and my tip, he said, my tip alone was more than the shake. The shake was only a few dollars. So this lady paid at least double, if not more, in service fees and taxes, whatever else is on top of that, for a milkshake. Which again, if you already plan your meals out, you're not going to be in a situation where you're going to suddenly need something. But a milkshake, clearly that's not about nutrition. That's, I deserve it. I'm a good person. I need this right now. I need to get this to get through the day. I need this strawberry shake or whatever it was. Clearly, if you order from these services, or you use these services, you're poor at managing your time because you don't plan things out. You're poor at managing your money because you're willing to pay at least double, a lot of times, for whatever it is. And then lastly, you're poor at managing your nutrition. So for me, again, I'm already planning out my meals all the time. I already know every day what I'm gonna eat. When I wake up, I'm gonna have black coffee. I'm not gonna eat until at least 11. And when I do, I'm gonna have 2 slices of Ezekiel bread with a whole avocado cut up on there with a little bit of salt and pepper and hot sauce. And then I'm gonna eat a Granny Smith apple, and then I'm gonna have some unsweetened oatmeal with some raisins and almonds, unsweetened of course, and some baker's chocolate, unsweetened. So for me, I already know by noon, that's what I'm going to eat. And I do that every single day. I've got a vacation coming up. I'm going to Denver, Colorado. My wife and I have already sat down and planned out all the restaurants that we're gonna go to make sure that they're healthy, that they're not too expensive, and we've mapped it out according to where we're gonna be staying to make sure we're not driving too far. So again, we're managing all 3 of those things. So what I'm saying is, demographically, the kind of people who would use these services are in general probably going to, as far as time management, they don't really have a schedule. Their things are pretty chaotic for them. They refuse to take control of their own life by taking control of their schedule. As far as their money, they're probably people that are in debt and that are going to remain in debt because they don't truly realize the worth of the dollar that they're throwing away on this. And then, of course, nutrition-wise too. I mean, I would have to think that for the most part, people are not ordering healthy food from this place because typically a person who's very health-minded typically is often very focused on managing their money and time as well. Let's wrap this video up by now explaining that I use the same business model. No, I don't deliver for one of those companies, but I am a YouTuber. I run 2 different channels. And the truth about YouTubers, we all know this. Do you really think that we care what we talk about in these videos? Sure, we may have certain insight and like, well, at least I can keep talking about this. But for the most part, we know that people are obsessed with certain topics. We look at what the free market is searching. YouTube's the #2 search engine in the world. We figure that out. We exploit it. Like, oh, you're obsessed with this one thing. So like on this channel, I largely talk about men's hair. Do I care? No, but they do. And they're allowing me to make over $500 a month from the ad revenue from these videos. I run another channel that is largely talking about DNA test results. Do I care about that? Sure, it was fun to take a DNA test. Do I care about so much that I'm willing to make a couple hundreds of videos about it? No, but they keep watching worldwide. So I'm taking advantage of ultimately people's time because for me, I don't just sit around and just watch videos and get obsessed over one thing like that. Like I will watch something, I'll learn from it, and I'm done. But I realize that a lot of people are bored because they're not managing the time, so I take advantage of that. And I'm making money from their boredom. I am providing a service, but it's a total hypocrite because I don't really watch YouTube videos. I mean, I'll watch comedians sometimes, or I'll watch ones on better how to, certain things to eat when you're lifting weights and all that stuff, better ways to exercise. Things that are going to actually make me a better person in regards to, instead of being exploited by a company, taking advantage of my time, energy, and nutrition, I'm actually finding ways to use that to my advantage. So for my gym, for example, I paid a year up front. It was $1 a day. I paid up front. I go 6 days a week. And I feel I'm, in turn, learned how to eat even better on top of getting exercise. So for me, instead of looking at, I don't want to be taking advantage of as far as my time, my money, and my nutrition. I want to find ways to take advantage of that for myself. Your comments belong. right here.